Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you happen to be watching this. I'm Daniel Parker, co-host of Critique Corner, coming to you again with another horror movie review. Once again, my co-host DV Fastbinder is not joining me for this review, something about a root canal. But I will just have to carry on without him as I talk to you all about Q the Winged Serpent. Now, much like my last horror movie review, this one's a bit more obscure, definitely more in the B movie category. It is from writer, director, and producer Larry Cohen. He's known for doing the It's Alive movies. He also did a movie called The Stuff, which I may do a review of at some point because I've actually seen that movie before. And he was also the writer on the Maniac Cop movies. But for this movie, it's very much it's it certainly has horror, certainly a horror movie, but it also has the movie elements to it as well. So what is Q the Winged Serpent? Well, Q, as it turns out, is actually Quetzalcoatl, who is an Aztec god, a serpent with a flying serpent, basically a dragon. And he is terrorizing New York, living in his nest in the Chrysler Building. And the movie basically kicks off where a bunch of people are mysteriously dying in and around the Chrysler Building, and also there are a series of ritualistic killings that very much resemble the Aztec human sacrifices. And so our cast of characters includes Michael Moriarty, who is kind of let's say, very much a character actor. He's probably most known for being one of the original cast members on Law and Order. But he was in a lot of Larry Cohen's movies. He was in The Stuff, for instance, and I think he was in one or all of the It's Alive movies. But Michael Moriarty plays Jimmy Quinn, who's a kind of a low-level criminal. He's usually he's a getaway driver for bank robberies and such. And so he's working with this crew of gangsters to rob a diamond store, and of course he's the wheelman, he's the getaway driver. But they tell him, no, you got to go inside. So they make him go inside with them, and they take the keys of the car, and he ends up escaping. And then of course he loses the diamonds that they steal, and he ends up making a run for it. He tries to call his lawyer, and his lawyer just so happens to have an office in the Chrysler Building. And so he ends up going to the Chrysler Building and then climbing up to the top, and that's where he finds Q's nest. So the rest of the movie is basically, Jimmy trying to figure out how to make this work for him, while two detectives investigate the different crimes. One of the detectives is Detective Shepard, who's played by David Carradine, and Detective Powell, who's played by Richard Roundtree. Most people know Richard Roundtree as Shaft. And there's quite a lot of tension between those two guys because they obviously don't get along very well at various points in the movie. But yeah, so that's the crux of the movie, where it really centers on Jimmy Quinn because he kind of has this attitude that hey, my whole life I've been kicked around, I've had this happen to me, I've had that happen to me, I've been in prison and all this stuff. It's about time I get my due. That's basically his main motivation for all of this. And of course you have Shepard, who's David Carradine's character, who is just a kind of no nonsense detective, and he's also of course nobody believes he uncovers the whole thing with the winged serpent, the dragon being Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec god, but nobody believes him, of course, because it's just sounds like nonsense. Um, but yeah, so the movie has a lot of very cheesy effects to it, which uh, in 2025 probably look extremely dated and probably looked really goofy in 1982 when this movie came out. But you know, it's for people who like silly, fun kind of monster horror movies. I would say this is definitely up your alley. And I did like the concept of Q and you know having this like Aztec god coming around like this. Thought it was very interesting. But the rest of the movie is kind of like I said, it's very hokey, but it's kind of a fun hokey, which probably best describes most of Larry Cohen's movies. Um, and it's just a very it's I mean it's not uh, what do I want to say? It's not a grand spectacle movie. It's not, it's not going to change anything, but it's a, it's a fun little B movie. Um, could have done with a few added scenes here and there because uh, the editing, I will say, isn't very good. Like there are a lot of really odd little quick jump cuts. Like it's almost like we're right in the middle of the scene, and it just cuts to where we're in the middle of the scene. It's very odd, but other than that, I mean, it's it's a it's a fine little monster B movie, uh, clocking in at 90 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. And one other thing I wanted to note, the Godzilla 1998 movie that was done by Roland Emmerich took a lot of cues from this movie. um, Especially the ending, very similar. The endings are exactly the same, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, um, if you're interested, give this movie a watch. It's on Shutter, like my movie last week. But yeah, yeah, go check it out if you like. And thank you everybody for watching me. I appreciate it greatly, and so does DB. And if you're interested and if you like our channel, please give us a subscription. Give a like on this video. Uh, Thursday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, we do our live show where we do different reviews of older stuff, newer stuff, and things that interest us that we watch during the week. And so, yeah, hopefully, I hope that we'll see you on Thursdays, and I'll be back once again with another horror movie review. But until then, take care.